Hey, good day to everybody. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. Right now, I am currently driving through the north side of Elyria, Ohio. Welcome to Elyria, Ohio, my hometown. This is where I grew up. And I grew up over here on the north end of Elyria, Ohio. I went to Elyria High School, graduated from Elyria High School in the class of 98. So I will be having several videos out driving through different areas of Elyria, my hometown. Now this side of Elyria is said to be the better part of Elyria. Now I'm gonna take a quick drive through these apartment complexes. These are called the Rosewood Apartment Complex. This is Rosewood Apartments. Now, if my history serves me right, I believe back in the early 1990s, there was a little girl. She was like 6 years old. Her name was Annie. I can't think of her last name, but her first name was Annie. And she was kidnapped and killed. Now, apparently, she was kidnapped in these apartment complexes here. And they must have took her somewhere else and done away with her life. But, you know, these apartment complexes, I mean, they're not the best apartments to live in. I mean, they're not they're not downright dangerous or anything like that, but ever since that article came out back in the early 90s about Annie, my mom done her best to keep me away from these apartment complexes, but it didn't work. I used to have a paper route in this area, and whenever I would get my paper route done, I would come around here, and there were, I mean, I had a good friend that lived around here, and I also had a couple of girls I used to talk to because, I don't know, I just thought they looked good. Yeah, these are the Rosewood Apartments. I mean, I used to hang out around here a lot during the summer. Even though my mom didn't want me to, I would always come over here. And then when she asked me where I was at, I would lie. And then one day she finally found out the truth because she came over here looking for me. And I got grounded for a week, and then after being grounded for a week, she told me, okay, I can come here as long as I tell her the truth of where I'm at. And I'm careful. So that's my little story about these apartment complexes here. These are the Rosewood Apartment Complexes. Rosewood Park. They're called Rosewood Park. If you're looking for some low-price apartment living here on the north end of Elyria, Rosewood Park. Those are probably some of the cheapest apartments you'll find on this side of Elyria. Now, right now I'm driving on Georgetown. Now this is where my paper route used to be at. I used to have my paper route on Georgetown. Now Georgetown is a pretty lengthy street. So we're going to be driving down where my paper route used to be at, which was right on this street, Georgetown. Now, as you guys can see, these houses are, they're well kept. Yards are well kept. I mean, most of these houses were probably built in the 1960s, in the late 1960s, maybe the early 70s. Now, if you're wanting to move to Elyria and you're wanting to live in this side of Elyria, I mean, given the current housing market right now, I would say expect to spend, if you want something that's moving condition ready, I would say expect to spend $100,000, at least $100,000. If you get lucky, you might be able to find something around here for around maybe 70. That's a fixer-upper. But if you want something that's already up and going, moving, condition ready, I would say around here, expect to spend at least 100. Now, this area has always been a nice and quiet area. The neighborhoods here in North Elyria have always been the neighborhoods around here has always been a good neighborhood. Nice and quiet. Very low crime. I mean, basically what you see is what you get around here. Now I'm going to be turning on Howard Street, which is the streets where I used to live. Now this White House right here with the black car in the driveway, let me back up. This White House right here with the black car in the driveway, that's the house I grew up in. That's the house I grew up in. I don't want to get too close because I don't want to appear like I'm some kind of a peeping Tom. Now, back when I was a kid, when I was like super young, this is one of the streets where I used to regularly ride my bike around. This is called Wilshire Court. And this lady right here in this two-tone house, the blue and tannish house, I used to cut their grass on a regular basis when I first learned how to cut grass at 12. I used to cut grass. They used to pay me $20 a pop. Now, bear in mind, this was back in the early 90s, so no, $20 was not a ripoff. And this is Dorset's court. This is the other part of Dorset's. No, that's Wilshire. This is Dorset. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is Dorset's. And there was another person around here that I used to cut grass for, and they would also pay me $20 a pop. And here's another area where I used to ride my bike, that my parents allowed me to ride my bike by myself in before, back when I was super young. When I say super young, I'm talking 6, 7, 8 years old. Cause when I turned 9, I was all over this damn place. My parents, they try to keep tabs on me, but sometimes I don't know. I mean, most of the time it worked, and sometimes it didn't. But back when I was super young, this is where I used to ride my bike. This was one of the streets where I was allowed to ride my bike around. This is called Bennett's. Bennett Drive is what this is called. Bennett Drive. And normally when I start off a video like this, I tell you what the population is, the population density, and how close it is to bigger cities, blah, blah, blah. On this particular video, I'm not going to do all that. I'm going to do all that on a different video. Why? Because I just want to do something a little different. I mean, I grew up on this side of town. This is my home city, so I know a little bit more about this area than in other areas I do videos on. Now it's been a while since I've been around here. I mean, I haven't lived in Elyria, and man, it's been over 20 years ago. Now, if you're looking for some decent apartment living here in Elyria, I'm about to drive you through an apartment complex that's decent. Now, your cost of rent will be a little higher than the other complex I took you to earlier, which was Rosewood. Now these are the Sherwood Forest Georgetown apartments. So if you're wanting to live here in Elyria on the north end of town, here are some good apartment complexes to live in. I mean, you know, for the most part around here, it's relatively quiet, low crime. You're right by the rec center, which I will be driving to in a minute here. But, you know, these apartments, I mean, they're clean, they're pretty well kept. Most of the people here are decent. At least they were back when I was around here back in the day. There's no back up here. So as y'all can see, it's nice and quiet here. You don't have no litter on the ground. You don't have a bunch of broken down vehicles parked everywhere. I mean, these apartment complexes have a much better reputation than Rosewood. Like I said, you will pay more money over here compared to Rosewood, but over here, you're dealing with a higher caliber of people. You're dealing with far better management, and it's just an all-around better place to live. Now here's the rec center. This is North Park. Back in the day, we used to call it North Rec. You know, we would come up here, go swimming. During the winter time, go ice skating. And now they have a park here. They got the playground for the kids. They got a park. You see, back in the day, when I was coming up around here, they didn't have all that. All they had was, you can come here and go swimming, or you can go skating, or you can sign up for baseball, and then you would come on over here and you can play baseball. Here's the swimming pool right here. This is where we used to swim at right here. Let me back up, give you a better glimpse of the swimming pool. This is where we used to come and swim at. It's getting a little hot out here, so I had to stop and crank my windows up and cut on my air. Here's another view of the baseball field. It looks like they got, let's see, I don't know what that is. Well, here's your little picnic area. Here's your playground. And all this is right by the Sherwood apartments that I just got out of. That's a playground. Now, just like any other video I do, I want to make a disclaimer real quick. I will not be able to get all of Elyria on my videos. I'm gonna have to make several trips out here to get Elyria. So just a disclaimer for you people. So for those of you that know Elyria and you comment in my comment section talking about I didn't get this part, I didn't get that part, you're right, I didn't. It's not because I didn't want to. It's not out of disrespect. It's just because, you know, I got a lot of other stuff to do and my time to do these videos are limited at this point. Now, once I start getting paid to do this stuff, then obviously I'll be able to spend a little bit more time doing this. But for right now, I still work a 9 to 5, so it is what it is. Now, up in front of us is a elementary school. It's a brand new elementary school. They just built it within the last year or so. So for those of you that got elementary school age kids, this is where they will be attending school. Assuming that you live on this side of town, of course. Now I'm gonna have to turn around. The elementary school that I went to when I was a kid is no longer in existence. I believe they turned that building into something different, I believe. We're going to take a little detour here, and I'm going to show you people. I mean, this is still North Elyria, just so you guys understand that. This is still North Elyria. And I'm gonna most likely be making a part 2 of this side of Elyria. Now I'm going down Windsor Drive. One of the elementary schools I used to go to when I was a kid was Windsor Elementary School, which they have closed down within, I believe they closed down maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And also on this street, my foster mother used to live on this street. She recently sold her house and she moved to a condominium community to downsize her housing. I mean, my foster mother, she's 89 years old. And she's one of the reasons why I'm here in town. Well, I thought I was on Windsor. Apparently I'm not on Windsor yet. I'll get there eventually. But yeah, this is my foster mother's neighborhood. My foster mother took me in when I was 3 years old. And I lived with her from age 3 to 5. Now, for some reason, I keep getting turned around, so my apologies. But this is her old neighborhood. She moved out of this area last year. And I just want to take you by her house where she used to live. Yeah, she took me in as a foster child for 2 years, and then after that, I was adopted. Now, the house I showed you guys earlier, which was on Howard Street, that's the house I grew up in, which is only a few minutes away from this area. And just FYI, if anyone who's interested in buying a house in this neighborhood, I would say be prepared to spend at least $150,000. At least $150,000. And that would be for something that's move-in condition ready. If you're lucky enough to find yourself a fixer-upper around this neighborhood, that might run you $70,000 to $80,000 for a fixer-upper. Okay, this is Windsor Drive right here. I finally found the streets. This is Windsor Elementary School, which has recently closed down. We will be taking a quick drive through the lots, watching out for this woman and her son. I mean, looks like she's trying to teach him how to ride a bicycle. That's a good mom right there. Here's Windsor Elementary School, which has closed down recently. I attended Windsor School for a couple of years. Okay, this video is getting real close to cutting off on me, so I'm going to try to show you the house before it cuts off on me. Now this house right here, this brick house with the white trim, is the house where my foster mother used to live. I used to live here myself for a couple of years because my foster mother took me in for 2 years. I still see her to this day. I'm here to see her right now. That's why I'm here in town. But that's her old house right there. And here's the rest of the area. Well, now the video. So people, if this video cuts off, it's because typically my phone is set up to where I'm able to record 30 some odd minutes at a time. I just wanted to hurry up and show you my foster mother's old house before it cut off. And I wanted to show you the new school, but I'm not going to get to do that on this video. So I'll do that on my next video of North Elyria. So I'm going to go ahead and jump off here. Everybody have a blessed one. See you all on the next video.